All right, let's get right into it. We're going to be talking about a pretty radical idea from Price Pritchett's book, You². And the whole thing is, it's not about making those small, tiny improvements. Nope. It's about making a massive jump, a huge exponential leap in your performance, and becoming, as he calls it, You².
I mean, you know the feeling, right? We've all been there. You're putting in the hours, you're grinding away, doubling your effort, but your results are just flat. It feels like you're pushing against a solid brick wall, and honestly, the harder you push, the more stuck you feel. That frustration? Well, Pritchett says that's a huge sign that you're using the wrong strategy entirely. And this is where his fly analogy just hits so hard. Picture it, a fly, just relentlessly banging itself against a window. It's a model of persistence, right? It's trying as hard as it possibly can, but its strategy is completely wrong. It thinks trying harder at the same spot is the answer, when just a few feet away there's an open door. The solution isn't more effort, it's a completely different approach.
So this brings us to a really core idea in the book, what he calls the trap of hard work. And it's so counterintuitive, isn't it? I mean, we're taught our entire lives that more effort is always the answer. But what if that conventional wisdom is actually the very thing that's holding you back?
Think about it like this. If you keep doing what you've always done, you're going to keep getting what you've always gotten. Sure, trying harder might bump your results by, say, 10 or 20%. That's an incremental gain. But it is never, ever going to create the kind of massive breakthrough we're talking about here. It just keeps you on the exact same road, just with your foot pressed a little harder on the gas.
And here's the real problem with that strategy. It has a ceiling. You can't just try harder forever. Eventually, you run out of steam, you hit a wall, you burn out. And what's even crazier is that the very habits and behaviors that made you successful in the first place can become your biggest trap. They're comfortable, they're familiar, but they can blind you to that open door, just like they did for the fly.
So if trying harder is the trap, what's the escape hatch? Well, this is where Pritchett introduces a really powerful concept he borrows from quantum physics and applies to our own lives: the quantum leap. This isn't about running faster on the treadmill. This is about forgetting the treadmill and getting into a rocket ship instead.
So a quantum leap isn't about climbing the ladder one painful step at a time. Nope. It's about finding the elevator and shooting straight to the top floor. It's this huge jump to a completely different level of performance that just seems to break all the normal rules of step-by-step progress.
Now check out the contrast here, because this is where it gets really interesting. On the left, you've got the old way, slow, predictable, linear, and it just demands more and more effort for these tiny little gains. But on the right, you have the quantum leap. It seems illogical, maybe even impossible at first, but it's incredibly efficient, surprisingly effortless, and it leads to exponential results. It's a total paradigm shift.
And this is the promise, right here. It's not about becoming a slightly better version of yourself. It's about multiplying your effectiveness. You to the power of 2.
Okay. So this all sounds amazing in theory, right? But how in the world do we actually do it? Well, it all starts by rewriting your success rules. This means literally taking the old playbook, the one that got you stuck in the first place, and throwing it out the window. It's time for a new one designed for breakthroughs.
And here they are, the new rules. And fair warning, they're going to feel a little weird. They pretty much go against all common sense. You have to ignore what everyone else is doing. You have to stop obsessing over how you're going to do something. You have to suspend your own disbelief, and you have to start questioning what you think your limits even are.
Let's just zoom in on that second rule for a second, because this one is absolutely huge. We get paralyzed all the time because we can't see the entire path from A to Z. Pritchett says, forget about it. You don't need to. You just need a crystal clear vision of your destination, the end result. The moment you commit to that and just start moving, the how will start to show up along the way.
Man, I love this quote. Our default setting is to doubt the goal, right? To doubt that the breakthrough is even possible. This rule just flips that on its head. It says, stop doubting your dream and start doubting those self-imposed boundaries that are telling you it's impossible. Challenge the cage, not the sky.
So we've got the new mindset, we've got the new rules, but knowing isn't enough. The final piece of the puzzle is all about doing. So here's how to take the leap, and it requires a very specific kind of courage and a whole new relationship with things like fear and failure.
This part is it's non-negotiable. A quantum leap by its very definition, is a journey into the unknown. It's going to feel risky, it's going to create anxiety, and that feeling isn't a sign to stop, it's actually a sign that you're on the right track. If you're feeling totally comfortable, you're not making a leap, you're just taking another small step.
And this quote just nails it. Fear isn't the enemy here. It's just part of the ride. Courage isn't about being fearless. I mean, who is? It's about acting even when you feel that fear. You move forward with the anxiety as your co-pilot, not as your commander.
Now, for what might be the most radical idea of them all. We are trained to avoid failure at all costs. But in this model, failure is just data. It's proof that you're actually stretching your capabilities. If you're not running into any problems or setbacks, it probably means your goals just aren't ambitious enough. Failure becomes a tool, a resource you can use to find out where your true boundaries are.
The big takeaway here is you gotta act now. There is no such thing as the perfect moment. That nagging feeling of, I'm not quite ready yet, that's usually just your anxiety playing tricks on you. It's a little game your brain plays to keep you safe and sound inside your comfort zone. The only time you can ever make a quantum leap is right now, in the present.
And really, it all boils down to this, doesn't it? You can't win a game you're not even playing. You will never ever know what you're truly capable of until you actually test your limits. The odds only start to shift in your favor the moment you decide to look them in the eye and challenge them.
And so that brings us to the end. The focus is now on you. Forget about a 10-step plan. Forget about waiting for the perfect conditions. Based on everything we just talked about, what is the single, bold move you can make today to kick off your own jump to You²?